Even though we are strapped in cap space, $130 million going to about 9 players on this Rockets team, there is still realistic options out there. We are doing Rockets free agency options. Cue the intro. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of The League. Your host, as always, Harley Dugan, and we are talking Houston Rockets free agency options. But first, I want to start with the team, the players on the team that are going to be potential free agents. One of them being Austin Rivers. Austin Rivers has a player option. He is likely to decline the player option. He's already came out and said he was going to decline the player option. He wants to look and see what the market has out there for him. He wants to see his value. Does he come back to the Rockets? Most likely not. You know, that report coming out and saying that he was unhappy with his diminished role here in Houston, I think that has a little beef to it. I think it has a little chew to it. Him exploring his market, but saying, I loved Houston, but I want to see my market. I don't see him coming back to Houston. Look at him going to Philadelphia, playing with his dad, Daryl Morey. Seems like a good fit. A few other guys you got is Tyson Chandler, Bruno Caboclo, Thabo Sefolosha, DeMarre Carroll, and David Nwaba. David Nwaba does have a team option. He's a guy that they picked up late into the NBA bubble. He was hurt for all season for the Brooklyn Nets, was healthy for the bubble. The Rockets ended up picking him up. You know, they never used him. He was supposed to be a 3-and-D guy, but again, they never used him. His team option would be somewhere around like 2.5. I know it's like under $3 million, so I don't see the Rockets picking up his option, but you never know. Without further ado, though, I'm going to start off my list for free agents the Rockets need to take a look at, and one of them is Derrick Favors. Derrick Favors played for the New Orleans Pelicans last year, 9 points, 10 rebounds a game. A guy that is a really good defensive big man, can play the 5 for you, 6'9", 255, strong, athletic, and you throw the lobs with James Harden and Derrick Favors. Again, anybody that plays with James Harden makes players better. I cannot express that enough. James Harden makes everybody around him better. He can make Derrick Favors a better player. His career has been around 11.5 points a game, 8 rebounds a game. But to get a guy that can grab rebounds, block shots, he's not that much of an offensive threat. I would like Derrick Favors more so for the veterans minimum than the mid-level exception. Again, you never know what can happen. The NBA probably has him on a different value. You only have one mid-level exception, and I think you can use it on someone much more valuable. Another guy the Houston Rockets expressed interest in already, and they were actually looking into the trade deadline for Nerlens Noel. Nerlens Noel would be a huge pickup for this Rockets team. Defensively, this team would be better with Nerlens Noel just because of his length at the 5, the way he rebounds and blocks shots. He had one of his best seasons last year for the Oklahoma City Thunder. And again, James Harden makes players around him better. And with the lobs, that's going to be his offense, is lobs. And James Harden, you reincorporate the lobs back into his game. Nobody throws a better lob than James Harden. Nerlens Noel gets into it per 36 minutes, 15.5 points, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks. Look, he's not going to play 36 minutes, but you can stagger his minutes with another rotational center that I will also mention, which would be Aaron Baines. Aaron Baines, to me, is the prize possession for the Houston Rockets. Aaron Baines does play defense, but not rebounds and block shots defense. It is the Luis Scola kind of defense. It is the I'm gonna take a charge and get you pissed at me kind of defense. Aaron Baines is that scrappy guy that's worked his ass off. He plays really, really, really well. I loved him when he was with the Boston Celtics. Thought he played phenomenal there, and he had a great season for the Phoenix Suns. Again, only averaging 11.5 points, 7 rebounds a game. But this guy isn't a stat sheet stuffer. You will see him though, and he will make his presence known defensively. And he can also step back, hit a few threes. He averaged about 34% from the three-point line. So he's not, unreliable at the three-point line. You get a stretch five that can really contribute to this Houston Rockets team. Another guy, and I'm going to put the bias on. I'm saying it right now. I have some bias when I talk about this guy because I have been watching him since his University of Texas days. DJ Augustine from the Orlando Magic. Give him that damn mid-level exception. Kick Austin Rivers' bitch ass out. Kick him out. Bring in DJ Augustine. Let him facilitate and score. What did we see from the Los Angeles Lakers? We saw that Rajon Rondo was a facilitator and a scorer, and he contributed heavily to that Lakers team. What can DJ Augustine do for this Rockets team? Take the load off of James Harden, facilitate, and score. The guy, 3 consecutive seasons, has averaged double figures for points per game. This year, he averaged 10.5 points, 6 assists, and only 24 minutes played. I'm a huge fan of DJ Augustine. Now, yes, if you do look at his stats, this year he regressed from the three-point line. He usually averages about 41%. This year he averaged 35%. But, when the Magic were in the postseason, DJ Augustine was arguably the best player on the court. He averaged 48% from three-point range. So I do expect him with this offense and hungry for a title. Why not the Houston Rockets? A few other guys that you can look at for cheap. Matthew Dellavedova, veterans minimum, cheap. You can get him, very underrated guy, another 3-and-D type of player. We all saw what he did 5 years ago against Steph Curry, forcing him 13 missed threes. Delly is a very underrated point guard and can still facilitate and score. And what does this second unit lack? Defense. The defensive ability from the second unit is not good. Delly brings that, and he can still shoot threes. Great option for you coming off the bench. Another guy would be Wesley Matthews. Wesley Matthews is 33. Yes, he's old, but he is durable. He doesn't get hurt a lot, not at all. Wesley Matthews is an amazing 3-and-D guy. He's been a pest in James Harden's ass for many, many years. And you bring him here, again, another guy that is going to be title hungry, a guy that is a bulldog that plays hard, 3-and-D guy. He averaged around 38-39% from 3, so he can still shoot it. He can still play defense. Bring him in here for that veterans minimum. And look, these are the type of moves that the Houston Rockets are going to have to make, because as much as I want the Serge Ibakas and the Jay Crowders, I would love to bring them here. But just money-wise, because you are so strapped in cap space, financially, you are not going to be able to sign a Serge Ibaka or a Jay Crowder unless they want to come here. That's it. But my dark horse for the Houston Rockets, JaySean Tate. Remember the name JaySean Tate. He came out of Ohio State, went to the Australian League, 6'4", athletic as hell, strong defender, 3-and-D guy. This guy went from a 28% three-point shooter at Ohio State to a 41% three-point shooter, drastically improving his game. That is a guy that the Rockets have also expressed interest in, and the NBA will be expressing some interest in Tate as well. But that's my ideal options for Rockets free agency, boys. So that's it for today's video, guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell for the noties to come on. Those are my realistic options for the Houston Rockets looking to free agency. We will be doing a lot more about the trade negotiations between if Russell Westbrook does get traded. I will throw out some possibilities. But as always, guys, go Astros, go Rockets, go Texans. You have a blessed day.